Hello and welcome to Linux Art. In this video I want to introduce you to the Linux firewall in more detail. We'll cover everything you need to know, what a firewall actually is and how it works. And for those of you who want a bit more control, definitely stick around. In the second part of this video, we'll look at how to configure the firewall more precisely and what additional tools exist to make it even more secure. I have Linux Mint in front of me right now, but it doesn't really matter which Linux distribution you are using. The concept is relatively similar across the board. There might be different firewall programs here and there, but the general concept is likely familiar to most people, even if you're coming from Windows. But first, let's cover the basics. What is a firewall? You can actually compare it to a bouncer in front of a party or of a club. He controls who tries to enter and through which door. The bouncer has two main tasks. First, checking everyone who wants to come in. He can check where the person is coming from. Are they from the neighborhood or further away? And crucially, which door does this person want to enter? And the second task of the bouncer is, which also, to be honest, is often overlooked in the standard Linux firewall configuration, that the bouncer not only controls the people who want to come in, but also the people we send out or supposedly send out. For example, if we watch a video, we have to send a request out to get that video delivered to us. A firewall can control this too. An important basic regarding Linux, we don't really have the firewall as a separate program. It is such an important topic that it is integrated directly into the Linux kernel, the very main base of Linux. That means if we close something there, it stays closed. It's basically unsurmountable unless you have programs that might open those ports themselves, like Docker for example, but this is no part for this video today. Let's look at the standard firewall on Linux Mint. In the first part we'll look at the basic configuration and later we'll get to the granular stuff. I'll go into the menu on the left bottom side and I search for firewall. Here we can see the firewall configuration and I'll enter my password since this is an administrative task. By default, the program on Linux Mint is really simple. We have a status switch. I'll click it once, wait a moment, that's important, and now the firewall is active. Perfect. We are safe. End of video, done. It actually can be that simple. If you don't want to worry about it, this provides a certain standard protection. If the firewall is off, you tell the bouncer, take a break, do whatever you want. Programs could simply open doors by themselves to listen on, but when we turn it on, we tell the bouncer, hey, please keep all doors closed and only open the ones I expectly tell you to. We also have incoming and outgoing traffic settings. The main thing is that incoming is not set to allow. Otherwise, we haven't gained anything if we set this to allow. So please don't do that. We can choose between reject and deny. Deny means the bouncer just keeps the door shut and doesn't say anything. And reject means the bouncer politely says, hey, sorry, the door is closed. If you are in a public setting, many people try to get in. It's better just to keep the door shut. So we keep it to deny so the bouncer doesn't get overloaded explaining to everyone that it's closed. So for maximum security, choose deny. Outgoing connections are usually set to allow. This means if I open a browser, I can connect to the internet without any issues, as we see it here. Now let's look at the rules tab here inside this firewall application. Here we can tell the bouncer to open specific doors, like for example port 80. For defining a rule, I click on the plus on the left bottom side here and you can select whether pre-configured applications, but we will do it the manual way to understand the basics. I'll switch to the simple tab here, and let's say I have a web server running and I want to open HTTP and HTTPS. I'll give it a name, for example, for us now, HTTP, and then we have the policy allow. This is fine. Direction in is also fine, and the protocol, here we can choose between TCP and UDP. TCP is for data transmission, reliable connections, and UDP is more for real-time stuff like streaming or gaming. For HTTP we need TCP, so I select TCP, and then we define the port. For HTTP the standard door is port 80, so I type in port 80 and I'll add that. And I'll do the same for the port HTTPS, and also be aware of when you just have the firewall window behind this add a firewall rule, we don't see any feedback if there was a rule added or not. To be sure, just put the firewall window to the left side, for example, and the add firewall rule to the right side, then you see the newly added rules here. I will also repeat this process for HTTPS, so I change the name to HTTPS and change the port to 443. The rest I leave it like it is, and then I hit add here, and then we also have our HTTPS rules. You might see 4 rules generated for 2 ports. That's completely normal. One is set for IPv4 and one is set for IPv6. That is basically it for the standard firewall. It's great for managing incoming connections, but if you don't run a server, you usually don't need any open ports. So what I do here is select all those rules and then hit the minus button here, remove all those rules, and now those rules are gone. Very nice. For example, if you use Warpinator on Linux Mint, you can search for Warpinator. Warpinator needs a firewall rule, but for that we can go to the settings menu here, then preferences, and Warpinator has under connection, here we see a button for update firewall rules. So just to click on that, then I type in my password, and then the firewall rules are added. So if I open up the firewall configuration again, then we see there are some additional rules added for Warpinator. This is it for Warpinator, and this is it for our easy firewall. But as we discovered right now, the firewall app we talked about until now only takes control of the incoming connections. But what is with the outgoing connections? This is all for the people who want more control, specifically also seeing what is calling home, which program is sending data out. The standard firewall doesn't notify you about this. For this we use a tool called OpenSnitch. It's an application firewall that asks for permission for every new connection attempt, and I'll open the software manager here. So here we have it. And then I search for OpenSnitch. Here we see OpenSnitch. I open this one up and I hit install. Then it asks for additional software which should be installed. This is completely fine. I hit continue, and then I type in my password, authenticate myself, and OpenSnitch is installing right now. So once installed, I close the software manager and I open OpenSnitch. Out of the menu here we see it, OpenSnitch Interactive Application Firewall. And here now we see a small cloud on the bottom right corner on our panel, and I open that one up. Here we see everything. We will have a look to it in a few seconds, so I close it for now. And now I would say I just start Firefox or close it, and then we see Firefox is trying to connect to this IP address. What do I want to allow or deny this? I can choose deny for this and set the duration forever, for example, but also I can just say it until reboot, deny it, or just allow it for me until reboot. I close this one right now. Once I choose and hit deny, and then yeah, those things were denied. Then we see other windows which are opened by systemd resolved is attempting to resolve connectivity check ubuntu.com via UDP port 53. And port 53 is DNS, so it's looking up the phone book, which house number it has to call. And I say, hey, everything from maybe this executable or to port 53 is fine. I say, hey, from this executable, it's completely fine if the network manager right now is doing the connectivity check. So I hit forever and then hit allow. But if you don't want to do this, you could also choose deny. I choose allow, and then this is fine. Now I go back to Firefox, and if we open up Firefox, we directly see, hey, Firefox is connecting to the content signature CDN Mozilla.net. Do we want to allow or do we want to deny it? We can choose what we want to allow or deny. So from this executable, do we want to allow, for example, everything from firefox.bin, or only want we to deny the content signature CDN Mozilla.net, or to port 53 and such things. I choose now content signature CDN Mozilla.net. I deny this forever and hit deny here. And now this looks good. And now if I open up linuxort.com, here we see the next thing. Hey, Firefox bin wants to open linuxort.com. This is fine. I say, okay, I want, for example, everything for port 53. This is DNS. To port 53, I allow everything. That's fine for me forever. And then I hit allow. And then we will have a look what it is doing right now. Not too much, to be honest. Right now I have trouble finding that site, so there might be a mismatch in my rules or something too restrictive. So I go back to OpenSnitch UI, and then we see a new window here, and here we see all the events which is denied. For example, here we see there is something denied. I can also filter for something, like for example now linuxort.com. So I search for linuxort.com, and here we see a denied rule. A deny until restart simple user lib systemd resolved. So I guess we don't want to deny this. So I go to rules tab here. Here we see all our rules. I just close the filter here. And then we see the systemd resolved deny. I guess this is the thing I denied off screen, or I wasn't too fast explaining everything and it was denying it by default, and I don't want this rule. I can double click this rule, then we go to the overview tab, and then we can go to edit rule here, and then we see what is actually done right now. And what I want is I want to allow this rule until always everything from systemd resolved. And then I hit apply here. Rule applied. Nice. I could change this to allow. Apply. Close. This is fine. Here we see our next thing. Avahi daemon is connecting to something. Avahi daemon is for me okay. I hit forever and allow. This is a simple connectivity thing from Linux itself. I highly recommend you just to allow it, if this computer should be able to announce itself to other services like printers, storage systems and such things. Here we see something from Firefox bin is connecting to push services mozilla.com on TCP port 443. Here you see, here we can control everything. For me, I make it now very easy. I just say, okay, everything from this executable forever is okay for me. So I allow everything right now. And now if we load again our website, then this should be here again. So you can see, yeah, OpenSnitch can be very restrictive, but also if we just, for example, do some stuff here. I'm searching for for example, kernel.org. So this one, for example, nice. Okay, then we have discovered some websites, and then I can go back to OpenSnitch and, for example, open the hosts tab. And here in the host tab, I see all the things and all hosts and hits which were made. For example, we see something like incoming telemetry mozilla.org. Do we want to do this? Detect portal firefox.com, connectivity check, push services, also something from linuxort.com. That's fine, I guess, right now. Also wikipedia.org, reddit.com. There's a lot going on, and we just opened a few websites. This is crazy, isn't it? But for example, I want now to disallow everything to incoming telemetry.mozilla.org. So I want to create a new rule. I hit this icon here, create new rule, and then I can give it a name. We have to give it a name. So I say block telemetry mozilla.org, and then I copy the domain here, and then I go to network. I want to deny it for always, and then I want a specific host, so to this host, and then I paste in the domain, and I want all domains which are telemetry.mozilla.org. So incoming telemetry.mozilla.org, or some other domains, so everything from telemetry.mozilla.org. What I have to do here is to type in dot, a star, and then a backslash, and then another dot. So this is the, to be honest, very crude syntax for disallowing everything ending with .telemetry.mozilla.org. And now I hit apply, and then we have to look at this rule applied text. If this text is not here, then you made something wrong in this host tab, for example, or it doesn't have a name. So it was in my tests for this. So I now added those rule, and now we won't have any requests anymore to telemetry.mozilla.org. Also, from all applications, we didn't filter the applications. So everything which wants to reach telemetry.mozilla.org will be blocked from now on. Very, very good. I close this one, and now we made our computer a bit more secure, or a bit more transparent, or better to say, a bit more transparent on which hosts we are sending some stuff. In the end, don't overdo it, or you might end up offline entirely. But it's a great tool to see what's happening on your system right now. Also, remember to allow system updates. So for example, if I go to updates available and I hit refresh, then we get a new thing. HTTP method apt wants to talk to archiveubuntu.com. Please allow this. I allow everything from this executable, and then forever, and then I hit allow, and then your Linux Mint can do updates again. So this is quite important. I hit install updates if I want to, and then this should be fine. To summarize, use the standard firewall GUFW in our case to block incoming traffic, and use OpenSnitch if you want to monitor and control the outgoing traffic. That's it for this video. If you have questions, leave a comment. We can help each other out there, I guess. In the end, thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, if you learned something new, please leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, because here on Linuxort we are releasing new stuff about Linux and open source, and also sometimes security every week. So make sure that you don't miss any future stuff. And now have fun configuring your bouncer lists. See you next time. Ciao.